Hi, everybody. This is Professor Levy. I'm going to share with you now a very important concept, and that is the concept of how to set up the margins and line spacing when you are creating business correspondence. So we're going to start with a simple business letter, very simple business letter. This video shouldn't take you more than a couple of minutes to watch. And of course, feel free to watch it more than once if you have to. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share a screen for us so that we can start a business letter together. So over here, I have a Word document coming up, and you'll see that your Word document basically starts with a ruler right here. So let's just see how I do have the ruler. The ruler, in case you haven't seen it before, you are going to have this option here to go to view. You see it says view ruler, and I have clicked on the ruler. So make sure your ruler is viewed. That's important when you start to prepare a business letter or a memorandum or a report, any one of those things. So here's our ruler. And as you see, the ruler is 6.5 inches wide. We'll talk about that in a moment. But right now, you'll notice too that if I do nothing to this computer as I'm working in Word, and if I hit the Enter key, see what happens? I am going to see spacing that looks like this. If you're wondering where are these characters coming from, they are coming from the non-printing characters, which are right here. That's called show hide. So if I click on show hide, those go away. And if I click on show hide again, they come back. I'm going to delete these right now. So the first thing that you have to do when you set up business correspondence is you click on home and you go then over to paragraph. And right here where it says line spacing, we don't want multiple line spacing. We want single spacing. And here, 0 before and 0 after. And then I click OK. Now watch what happens. That's the kind of line spacing that you want. So I hope everybody saw that. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to erase that again. And I'm going to show you once again what you have to do every time you start a business document in Word. Now, of course, on your home computers, you're going to be able to set that as a default. You can set this line spacing as a default. If you're working on a company computer or you're working on a college computer, you may have to set it each time. But watch again. I go over to home, paragraph, single, 0, 0. Okay. There is another way to do that. And all you have to do, see where this says normal? Click on no spacing right next to it. And that will do the same thing. No spacing gives you single, 0, 0. Couple of refinements. When you do no spacing, the default typeface comes up, which is Calibri. So if you wanted Times New Roman, you'd have to select that there. And I'm going to tell you in advance that even though Microsoft gives you in Word 11 font size as the default, I want your correspondence to be with 12. So once again, how did I set that spacing? I set the spacing with home, paragraph, single, 0, 0. If necessary, I'm going to change to Times New Roman, although you can keep Calibri there. That's perfectly all right. But I do want the font size to be set at 12. All right. One more thing. Letters and correspondence, or I should say letters, memorandums, should have left and right margins of 1¼ inches. And right now the default is 1 inch. So I'm going to change that. And the way I change it is to go to layout, margins, and keep things as simple as possible down here, Office 2003 default. Now watch that, that's 6.5 inches. Watch what happens when I click here. I now have 6 inches, which means I have a left margin of 1.25 and a right margin of 1.25. Take a look here. If I go to custom margins, That's exactly what I have set. So that is the Office 2003 default. And that's another thing I want you to remember when you do letters and memorandums, set those margins at 1.25. Left 1.25, right. Keep the top margin at 1 inch and the bottom margin at 1 inch. Okay. Now, I promised you we'd start a very, very small business letter. So here we go. The date starts approximately 2 inches from the top. And even though that says 1 inch there, it's 2 inches because here's the first inch. Here's how I place the date in a letter, insert, date and time, which is over here. Now, today, May 29, 2021, every one of these says in some form or another, either the date or time of May 29, 2021. The only one that is correct is this one, May 29, 2021. Notice this does not say May 29th, NTH. That is incorrect. Do not put the TH in there. I have posted for you some information about how to set up proper numbers within dates. So you'll read that in Blackboard if you have a chance. Now, after you have placed the date 2 inches from the top, the next thing we do is we hit the Enter key 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At this point, we are ready to type the inside address. We're going to have a little scenario here. You're going to be typing a letter to a neighbor because what happened was you helped the neighbor's child with her arithmetic problems and she sent you a gift certificate to thank you, and now you're to thank you for your help, and now you're writing to her to thank her for the gift certificate. So here we go. The name of your neighbor is Mrs. Joanne Simpkins, okay? And she lives at 4 Sage Terrace in Hartsdale, New York, 10530. So take a look at what I've done there. That is the correct way to prepare an inside address. Notice I have Mrs. in there because a personal title must be in the inside address, okay? Dear, now what do I do? Dear what? That's right, Mrs. Simpkins, colon. Thank you very much for the gift certificate. I know it will come in very handy when I begin my classes in the fall at Westchester Community College. I enjoyed helping Susan with her arithmetic problems. She is a very bright and lovely young lady. If you need further help, please let me know. I'm going to enter twice. Now notice, every time I am leaving space between the paragraphs, I hit the Enter key twice here. Enter, enter. Enter, enter. So I have one blank line here, one blank line here, one blank line here, one blank line here. I am now ready for the complimentary closing. Sincerely. And here you're going to put your name in here. And now I am leaving 4 spaces here or 3 blank lines. I am going today be, I'm going to be called Thomas Barron. And Thomas lives in Hartsdale also. He lives at 380 Central Park Avenue. He lives in an apartment. Number 3H. That's the way you would do an apartment in Hartsdale, New York, 10530. So I have a very nice looking personal business letter. This is a personal business letter. If you were typing this letter as a real letter, your name would be here where Thomas's name is and your home address would be there. Hartsdale, New York. Notice Hartsdale, comma, space, capital N, capital Y, space, space, 10530. So that's all there is to typing a business letter. I should say a personal business letter. I will also create a video for you showing you how to create a business letter, but a personal business letter is one which you sign yourself. It's of a personal nature. And remember some of these refined points. Number one, you're going to be setting this spacing so it is on single 00. You set the margins so that they are on Office 2003 default. So I go over here to do the layout, would give me the margins, Office 2003 default. I hope everybody sees that. In addition, what else did I do? I set up the date starting 2 inches from the top. And one of the other things I did was make sure that that font size is at 12. So that's enough for you to get started on doing a business letter the correct way, even a personal business letter the correct way. So I'll see you in class. Bye-bye now.